Did you know the biggest threat of your retirement is not something that's talked about often? Our increased longevity in America means default retirement accounts like the IRAs, the 401ks, and the TSPs may not specific if you have over $100,000 in your retirement account. Get access to a free 2-minute report from Augusta Precious Metals and reveals the one step you can take to secure your financial future. Text SAFE SAFE to 35052 today. What do you give someone who already has everything? You give them the sound of a perfect share. Head to mychicagostate.com/rumble.co/rumble. Chicago State Company, top 2% of beef in America, USDA, prime and premium Angus, hand-cut by master butchers. The kind of marbling that hits a hot pan and fills the whole house with that smell, that buttery meat goodness. You know, the ones spend $229 on any holiday order or your gifts arrive to your loved ones. Doors with 6 free petted ribeyes, plus free shipping. That's $240 in premium steaks, absolutely free. Then there's the unboxing, a black and gold gift box worth unwrapping, packed with dry ice, smoke roll out when they cracked it open. Christmas morning energy. It's not just any swear, it's dinner that becomes a memory. mychicagostate.com/rumble, RUMBLE.
Tense clashes between protesters and security forces in Iran now turning deadly, with at least 3 people killed and 17 injured. The demonstrations have been escalating for days, sparked by worsening economic conditions in the country. Cost of living is high, inflation is soaring, and Iran's currency recently crashed to a record low against the dollar. The latest unrest comes amid a period of heightened tension between Iran and the West. The Iranian president recently said his country is, quote, engaged in a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. And earlier this week, President Trump issued this stark warning to Iran over its nuclear program.
I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down.
Guys, we need to talk right now about what is going on in Iran. I mean, what a way to start the new year. And I told you guys this months ago. I was in London. I was in a nightclub with one of my boys from Tehran, and he was telling me, he was like, man, you don't know it. No one knows it yet, but the Jews, the Israelis, and the Iranians are working together, and there is going to be peace soon, and they're going to overthrow that government. He literally told me that months ago. You guys know, you saw the video on it. I woke up this morning, I saw a video. I mean, the Iranian people and the Jewish people, the Israeli people holding Iranian flags and Israeli flags. I mean, what a way to start the new year. I'm trying to learn as much as I can, like a lot of you guys, so, feel free to get at me in the comments. I always want to learn. I'm telling you about the Iranian people. It feels like they are some of the most suppressed. Like, the actual people want peace. And Iran is such a rich region, not just in resources, but its people, its territory, so much to offer the world, been so suppressed by this regime, and it feels like it's finally being overthrown. We are almost a week into these protests. The university students have joined the shopkeepers. Over 30 cities are now involved. Key part of what is going on is hyperinflation. The rial in 2025 alone lost almost 48% of its value. We're at about 1.4 million rial to the dollar. Okay, here's what makes it different this time. Okay, they are out there chanting slogans, calling for freedom and equality, saying things like death to the dictator, calling for the return of the Pahlavi monarchy. Okay, these are things that have never happened before. It's moved beyond just economic unrest to full-on regime change, and that is what we all want. That's what's going to create stability. That's what's going to free these people. That's what's going to bring prosperity to this region. And one of the craziest parts is executions in Iran were up almost 2x in 2025 over 2024. The regime is actually trying to use these scare tactics to scare the people and to try and keep power, but they are not standing for it. The US senators are getting involved in this. The EU is getting involved in this, telling people to be on the right side of history. The Bazaris or the merchants actually helped bring down the Shah in the late 70s are the same people right now that are turning against the Islamic Republic. A gentleman was saying that he is not with Gaza, not with Lebanon. His heart is with the Iranian people. He's Iranian, and he wants the freedom for his people. He is done with these proxy wars, and that has been one of the biggest issues in all the Middle East, but especially as it pertains to Israel's security. I want to call on everybody out there, but especially the Jewish people, the Israeli people. Now is the time for us. Let's cut the rhetoric, okay? Let's support these people. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create real change and real peace and real stability and bring prosperity to all people, okay? Forget the religion part, okay? Everybody deserves peace and happiness, and we can have that with our brothers and sisters in Iran if we all stick together. So get at me in the comments. Let's do our part. Near or far, we can do something about it.
This country was built on colossal hands and unshakable gifts. At C of Mud Apparel, we stand for the ones who still out there putting in the work. The forgotten man and women who keeps rural America running. Our gear is made patriotic and built to last. Every stitch, every thread, made to handle real life, not runaway life. I'm a fan of this, aren't you? Whether you're working the land, fixing what's broken, and stands for what's right, we got your back. See a Mud Apparel, Real America Clothing Company. Show your pride, wear your gifts. Use the code RUMBLE at checkout for 15% off of your order. Visit seaofmud.com. That's seaofmud.com and gear up for the ones who still believe in America.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
The government will listen patiently, even if there are harsh voices, because we believe that our people are patient enough, and when their voices are raised, the pressure that is being put on them is high. The government's job is to hear the voices and help them reach a common understanding to solve the problems that exist in society. We see, hear and recognise officially all the protests, the difficulties and the crises. We emphasise the right to peaceful assembly, which is also recognised in our constitution.
Shopkeepers are on strike and massive protests have erupted in Iran for the third day as the country's currency hit record lows. The rial has lost about 40% of its value since the 12-day war with Israel in June. Protesters were heard chanting, "Don't be afraid, we are all in this together." And the country's central bank chief has reportedly resigned.
This is one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Right now, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is facing a war that's been raging for decades and has escalated again this year. Armed groups are fighting across the country's eastern regions, forcing entire communities to flee again and again. Nearly 7 million people have been displaced, making it one of the largest displacement crises on Earth. Families are living in overcrowded camps with little food, clean water, or medical care. Hospitals are overwhelmed. Aid often can't reach those who need it most. Children are missing school. Disease and hunger are rising. For many people, there is nowhere left to run. And here's the part that surprises a lot of people. The Congo is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world. It produces minerals used in smartphones, electric cars, and batteries, yet millions of civilians remain trapped in violence and poverty. The fighting has intensified. The humanitarian needs are growing, but outside the region, it rarely dominates headlines.
1,800 tractors just sieged London. Tanks in Westminster. Starmer's farm tax lit the fuse. Britain's food security collapses. 8:30 a.m. highways cut. 8:54 tractors breach Westminster. 9:15 tanks roll in with farmers. 14 minutes later, London is under total siege. Police van crushed under tank tracks. 1,800 tractors. 234 streets paralyzed. Farmers scream, pound 400k tax on pound 30k income. Starmer wants us dead. M25 strangled. Supermarkets, 2 to 3 days food left. Reeves calls farmers wealthy. Reality, pound 3M land, pound 30k profit. Die, kids pay pound 500k tax. Starmer's plan, bankrupt British farms, import everything. Police/tractor tires never did it to just stop oil. Double standards explode. Masked groups flood streets. Stop the boats. Meets save our farms. Starmer hides no statement. Cops radio, we can't stop tanks. Government warned 5 times.
Reports over the past few minutes is that Israel may be attacking Iran today. This is information they're saying that was just leaked, and someone knows something, because listen to what's been happening that has just been starting to get reported by the mainstream media news outlets. As I mentioned, Wall Street Journal, BBC, NBC, I'm seeing is on it. Iranian air defense is now mobile. The US, Germany, and France is urging their people to leave Iran now. Qatar has banned all flights over any Iranian airspace. So now other nations nearby are saying avoid Iran. And this all just coming out moments ago. And also Benjamin Netanyahu, as we've been seeing reported from several news media outlets. But now, as I mentioned, NBC News saying Benjamin Netanyahu summoned a meeting, and he summoned fellow leaders of their alliance forces for a special meeting. And it is very likely that something big is going to be happening as a result. Wall Street Journal has posted just a little while ago that Israel could be attacking today. We had heard calls that they said that it was going to be, quote, when the time was right. Now we're hearing that that time could be now. And it has been about 48 hours since we have seen the largest drone attack in history against Israel. And now they are saying there is no way it is going to go.
Tens of thousands of soldiers, hundreds of fighter jets, bombers, dozens of destroyers, frigates, submarines, long-range missiles and killer drones. Taiwan is currently under the largest siege in its history. China launched an angry assault on Taiwan on the morning of December 29th, surrounding it from all sides. The skies were closed to flight, ports were locked down, and over 100,000 passengers suddenly found themselves trapped in the middle of a war simulation. The illusion of peace in the Pacific was completely shut down that morning. China and Russia are playing the biggest gamble in history against Japan and the US not backing down. On one side, direct threats from Beijing to US President Donald Trump. China warned Trump,
"If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed."
Victor Gao, Vice President of the China and Globalization Center, and a statement of support for the invasion of Taiwan from Moscow. On the other side, there is a historical Japan that says it will intervene at the slightest move by Beijing. The situation is currently very tense, and Taiwan is on high alert.
What did we tell you? What did we tell you? I told you this yesterday on the prediction. What I predicted yesterday that the people was gonna rise up and people gonna rise over their governments. And you seeing what's going on in Iran. You know what I'm saying? They're starting out, you see what's going on in Iran. You know, these people, you know what I'm saying, they are broke. They are fuck. Hello, dude. Y'all hear me? I'm coming on now. You know what I'm saying? What we did we tell y'all? I'm having a little technical difficulties. And I just hope everybody hear me. Right now, I don't hear myself at all. Okay. So, hello. Yeah, hear me? All right. Now, it's coming in. I know we've been having technical difficulties with, Rumble here lately. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they trying to shadow ban. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know we've been having problems with this platform here. But like I said, what we did I say yesterday, going into the live yesterday, speaking about, the predictions, what I'm saying, the people was going to rise up against their governments. You know what I mean? That's why I predicted that people was going to start rising up in 2026 against their government. And and that's what you were seeing now. These people can't even buy, something to drink. You know what I'm saying? Because their whole economy is collapsing. You know, and it's just not. It ain't just in Iran. It's all over the globe. You know what I mean? And we told you this was going to happen, and and I'm just saying, people is really gonna, it, people's gonna really just start riding and going against their government. And it's a full fledged civil war. It's brewing over there in Iran. You know what I mean? And I don't know what's going on with this platform. This platform keep throwing me in and out. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to restart this, you know what I'm saying, a little bit later or whatever if it keep doing this. But they keep throwing us out. I don't know if we being shadow banned. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it keeps throwing me out. I don't. I've been checking out. I've been checking my phone, make sure say everything was up and partial up to grade. Everything seems fine. But I just hope it stay, because I got a lot to push out right now because Iran, like I said, you seeing the collapse of Iran right now. You see the people, what I'm saying, is standing up to their government over there. And I hope, what I'm saying, they just don't give in. They stand in their square and they stand tall against their government because it ain't just happening over there in Iran. It's happening all over the globe, like I just said. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me because I don't know what this platform is about to willing to do. But I spoke about this yesterday. You know what I'm saying, in the predictions. You know, and this you're gonna see more and more countries. You know what I'm saying, going. into, you see what's going on in UK too. The UK, what I'm saying, they've been, and for a country that don't allow guns, what I'm saying, them people know how to, what I'm saying, them people know how to get get their get their point across, what I'm saying, because they light fire bombs and they just doing all type of stuff over there in the UK. And 2026, told 2026 is gonna be a massive year for change. You know what I mean? And and you see what's going on in our country. You know what I mean? Because what I'm saying, we are the leading, country that's holding everything up. If once we start going against our government over here, start doing the same thing, you know what I mean? Uh, you're gonna be seeing this all over the globe, and when we start, if it start getting over here, I'm telling you, what I'm saying, everything is gonna collapse when we get to that point. Oh yeah, we gonna get to that point because we cannot be keep going on like the way we going because everybody's complaining about that being broke. Money's been missing, stolen out of their account. You know what I mean? Everybody want to blame the Democrats. People want to blame the Republicans. Like I told you, what I'm saying? This government, we should never rely on our government. You know what I mean? We should never, what I'm saying, gave our trust to our governments. You know what I mean? It's just simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna give it to you real raw and unedited. You know what I mean? And you see how the backlash is going over there in Iran. They is trying to, I don't know what Zelensky is doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's trying to, really make a move on Russia because it's the big thing. Russia, you see how Vladimir Putin, what I'm saying, has been, been under attack here lately. They trying to assassinate him, and they keep calling for a a uh, a nuclear war. Like I've been speaking on that my intel came in like it's not gonna be it's not gonna be no no nuclear war because basically what happened in 1945 in Japan when they dropped two nukes out on Japan, and anybody wanted to believe this or not, you can go do your research that ever since they did that, they've been having problems with UFO sightings. You got the Roswell crash. What I'm saying, they've been been picking up UFOs and other what I'm saying, unearthly beings at that after that. So I'm just saying, what I mean, this is the time now to what I'm saying, really uh, uh start sitting back and thinking like, look, what I'm saying, what we gonna do? We gonna let them keep on destroying us, keep on poisoning our food, keep on, what I'm saying, allowing them to doing what they do, because this is the time that we can, what I'm saying, start, what I'm saying, coming together and really push and getting our voices heard. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel that, what I'm saying, you still vibrating low. You know what I mean? You still not realizing what's going on in this world right now. You know what I mean? So as tomorrow for me and Dickie, I'm gonna talk to Dickie. So we're gonna really go in to another live because we're gonna try to, like I said, we're gonna try to keep getting you lives daily, damn near every day, and all through this year because it is keeping people updated and keeping people that seeing that we stand on task and we not trying to sugarcoat anything because I mean damn I know you seen the news reports and you seeing all the records that's going on in Iran. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it, it's like it's burning down. You know, so and not just that, we seeing a lot of activity now. It's like I said over here in Russia, and 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 Putin is really under siege right now. I mean, and they calling for a nuclear war if something happened to Putin. But like we told you once before that, what I mean, we hearing rumors of wars, and we, like I said, we don't know what's really, really playing out because we was just getting this clippings, news clippings, or TikTok clippings, and that's why we stand on this so people, can get the real shit. You know what I mean? So but before I go on, I want to ask everybody, please share this, share this live stream to everybody. Just hit that share that, hit that like button. All y'all newcomers, please subscribe. Because we're going to be hitting you with bangers after bangers, of lives here, in the next, this next year, because I'm telling you, I told you we're gonna get to a point I was gonna be in the front lines of this and keep reporting on this and keep, doing lives about this, But 2026 is already starting off, on the side curve, you know, because I mean, you got millions of people taking the streets in Iran, and like I said, you seeing, people posting up on this, and we knew that this time was coming when the governments went fully tyrannical. You know what I mean? They is trying to go in with this new world order. It's not, I told you the shit is not changing. The plan is not changing. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep amping up, and they're gonna keep on, doing all this tyrannical shit to us until we really stand up. It's just simple as that. You know, you seeing what's going on in China. China really trying to go to war because China barely holding up them damn self because of what they did. You know, and they were building all these structures and shit, building all these apartments and houses and shit over there, and no one is in them. You know what I mean? It's been all a fraud since day one over there in China, and it's due to their fucking governments. So if people ain't waking up about the governments right now, I just don't know what, because it's more shit. It's gonna play out because we know that the plan is to start building these smart cities, these 15-minute cities, or 15-minute cities. These cities get us crammed up in one spot. So, and I'm just gonna put it. I'm just gonna lay it out so they can, really depopulate. That's just all I can say, because you see what was going on in China. When they got, they putting people on top of each other. People was trying to get out and they couldn't get out. And this was during the pandemic, the pandemic, not because it's all bullshit. That shit is all bullshit. Now we was hearing about when Bill Gates. He's gonna talk about it's gonna be a second pandemic and so. Like I said, people don't even listen to what these people saying. They got control of it. You know what I'm saying? They are pushing these diseases. They are putting it out. You know what I mean? How would they know it's gonna be another pandemic if they ain't behind the shit? Just common fucking sense. So then you seeing people now again, they talking about this flu that's going around, talking about it's killing thousands of people. But you want to put a butt on it. You know what I mean? So they just telling us it's a flu. How we don't know they putting some type of other new diseases out there. We don't know. Only thing we know, we seeing people are fucking, you know what I'm saying, is really, having a timely demise. And children at that. So if we keep on playing with their agenda, we like I said, the population plan is going to play out. You know, even though we know they lose, but if we keep on, playing into it, it might just manifest. It start, knocking a lot of people out. And I was saying years ago, I would hate to see that. You know what I'm saying? Before people start waking up and seeing that this government is really, these governments is really trying to plan to knock us out because they want full control over their people. You know what I'm saying? Like we told you once before, all this shit is connected. You know what I'm saying? You think we different from China, you think we different from Russia, now all these motherfucking governments work to fucking together. They do. You see the military, you know what I'm saying? The military when they win the stars on their coats and shit like that, this is the same fucking stars. It's on China's fucking uniform. So I mean, all this shit is connected, and they like I said, they plan on us, y'all. They really plan on us, you know. And it's bad that you can't hear this information on fucking mainstream media. You know what I mean? And we told you from the start, you're not gonna hear nothing from them. You're gonna hear them keep saying everything is cool, everything is, you know, everything is still flowing. They still attacking fucking Donald Trump. I'm getting tired of hearing Donald Trump name. You know what I mean? They keep saying Donald Trump did, Donald Trump did, Donald Trump did. But we know the real. It's these fucking globalists. It's these damn globalists doing everything. And like I predicted yesterday, that is people gonna start, uprising against their government. They is. You seeing traces of it. But you're gonna see a lot more of that. You gonna see more of that here in the United States. It is what it's just what it is, man. So get ready. You know what I mean? So start preparing, saying start stockpiling, doing what you can. You know what I mean? Because I tried to stockpile years ago, and like I said, it's easier to say than do. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Especially when you got a lot of mouths to feed. You know what I mean? And you see how the flow of the money has been going. Money never growed on trees, but really, I wish it did because damn, you know what I mean? It's like we live in paycheck to paycheck. And then when you see it over there in Iran, we had a woman was speaking about that, their children going to school, but when they get out of school, when they graduate school, they can't even get a fucking job. Remember I spoke about that yesterday on the live. You know what I'm saying? All these children and is graduating and they looking for careers when they get out of school, but there ain't no fucking jobs for them. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about that. Now, if a woman really came out and said that she got kids that went to school and graduate, but they ain't no fucking jobs for them. So, like I said, that was another lie they always told us from day one. It ain't no fucking jobs. Like I said, and if it is a job, it's for the ones who they choose. You know what I mean? If you ain't in these secret societies, what I mean by these secret societies, you in these frats or you in these fraternities, that's a secret society. Because these fraternities, you join these fraternities and these frats, you know what I mean? They promise you a job when you graduate. And now that team, that's what they do. They get the best jobs. But you see how the money is, you see how the job apartment is, people are getting laid off left and right all over this country. And and I'm so it turned my stomach when you have, kids that really out there really trying to, make a better life for themselves, but they've been lied to from the start, you know. Because when I was growing up, it was people wasn't graduate. It was more dropouts than people was graduating. Now now you got kids actually, make it through school. But I don't want to, keep on turning on it because now they got a policy now. No kids be left behind. So if these kids is really being taught what they need to be taught in school, or they just passing them on and they still just as dumb as a rock since when they first came in. And excuse me, I'm not calling kids dumb. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? They not learning anything because of it's an agenda at play. That's all it is. It's an agenda. You seen how they've been passing certain laws and shit, gay marriages and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So all this stuff has been meaning to be set up on us. And like I said, please, I just want people to start waking up and realizing it, because it's been a lot of children that have been going missing here. You know what I'm saying, here of lately. I mean, it's more than ever been. Especially in New York City. We got women and children going up missing and finding them they body mutilated in a park somewhere. I'm just saying, if it ain't time to, start making a stand now, because I mean, shit, I don't want to know how they feel having a kid missing or have a kid found been mutilated. I don't want to know how they feel. You know what I mean? So when the parents out here and they have to experience that, don't you got some, don't you have some feelings for that? I mean, you know, because that's one thing I started getting on my fucking mission, getting on my path. It started, exposing this shit is because of the children, what they was doing to the children, finding out they doing electroshock therapy on these children. They sacrificing these kids to Moloch, a demon. Come on now. And that's what we're witnessing right now. It's a lot of fucking demons and a lot of fucking devils is rolling through this. Because if you want war, you can say you're a demon in the skies anyway. Because that's why I always thought war was anyway. You know what I'm saying? People who want to go to war, they what I'm saying, if they ain't already done been taken over by force or low vibrational force or entity or whatever, if you want to go out there and fight in war, you know what I mean? And then they looked at you down. Back in the day, they looked at you down if you talked about the war, knowing that we never did nothing to nobody. Like Muhammad Ali said, we ain't, I done been tongue ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So why would you want to go over there and fight motherfuckers that basically, other poor motherfuckers at that? You know what I'm saying? Just saying, man. This, we coming into them times now. It's time to question every fucking thing and start trying to, uh, uh get, save each other. At least save each other. Because damn. And as I keep going on with this live, before I go into it, I want to say that me and Dickie Jr. has been talking to Alexis K. Tyler. Alexis K. Tyler, she agreed to go on with us later on this month, and we gonna interview her again for the second time. And that's why I'm saying that this is for the second time. I know everybody missed that first live because of doing of YouTube. YouTube took that live stream down, and I mean it didn't even stay up on the platform for 15 minutes. And I was speaking to Alexis K. Tyler, and I was telling her, why they took it down, because they know how vibrational that we are. You know what I mean? So they took that down. And plus, it was a lot of we it was a lot of good questions that we asked her. It was a lot of answers she was throwing back at us. So I mean, uh, uh, they knew they didn't want that out, and people would start waking up off that live. But I'm just putting it out. We've been talking to her, and we're gonna go back later on this month, probably the last week of January. We probably, get her on. So I just want everybody to know that, and you're gonna see me promote that for the rest of the until that day comes. I'm gonna be promoting. I'm gonna put it on. So please share that when I put the post up, and please share that. And if you're not following us on Instagram, it's at Dice Game 615 at Vicky underscore Junior 19. Please follow us on Instagram, because we're gonna be putting some more stuff on Instagram. So the world is it basically is setting up to break out in a civil war, civil unrest. So yeah, like I say, get prepared for that. I know people been hearing that 2026 was gonna be a hell of a year, but just say this is it's going to be a civil war breakout all over the world. You know what I mean? Now it's not going to be. They're not going to procrastinate on this. Now they know they got to get this shit done before 2030. You know what I'm saying? That's the end, 2030. If they ain't got what they need to get out or do by 2030, that's a wrap. Well, are we hearing in our future anyway? The New World Order do not exist in our future anyway. So I bet you say, how would he know that? Like I told you, you know what I'm saying? Anything you want to know, go into spirit, go in meditation. Meditation with and talking to your ancestors and talking to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? You will get your answer. You know what I'm saying? We in the spiritual time. You know what I'm saying? The veil is lifted. If people don't realize that, the veil is lifted. We ain't in the 3D no more. People think we still in the third dimension. We not in the third dimension no more. So, everybody feel it. I done had people seeing people on YouTube saying they feel like they in two type of worlds right now. That's it. That's just the sign. That's just the sign of the veil has been lifted. Yes, people having paranormal activity, more paranormal activity in their homes, or they seeing, they seeing their ancestors, or they seeing some type of other being out there. You know what I mean? Yes, the veil have lifted, and now it's time to, really educate yourself and accept what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to, ain't nothing going back. So get out of that. When people sitting back crying because they broke and shit like that, we explain about how the money was going to flow. We explain that it's got demons on that fucking money, rituals and spells on that fucking money. We've been saying that shit. I've been saying it for over 20 years now. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying, get used to it, because this is the new. It's gonna be the new for a while until till every parasite is gone off this fucking planet. Just saying. It's time to rise up, my peoples. I don't care what color you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't care what color you are. It's all about your frequency. That's all that matters to me, about your frequency. Now, if you're low vibrational, to keep on stepping. But if you high vibrational and you trying to learn and you trying to get on that that high vibrational frequency, you here in the right spot. It's just what it is. So I want to thank everybody that giving me and my brother Dicky a chance to get your ear. You know what I mean? Because we've been doing this shit for too long. And like I said, we were sounding like a fucking broken record over and over again, saying the same stuff over and over again. Now people are witnessing, now they're seeing the shit that we was talking about. That this whole country, and not just this country, this whole world is going into a big major shift. It is. You know, we spoke about, what I'm saying, people were doing, that witchcraft was really, what I'm saying, on the rise. People is diving into that. People are losing their faith in these religions. And I don't make videos about that, about the religion. It's already been exposed, but the religion, and here starting in 2026, people is moving away from their religion. Because, like I said, they use that as a tool too. If you don't have to believe me. Do your research. If you don't have to do your research. You can see what's going on today anyway. So, and as I go more into this live tonight, is we hearing about all these celebrities now getting caught up in their own shit now. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry got a $260 million lawsuit over his head. If the guy probably sued him, and probably, I don't know, probably got their money. But you seeing all these damn celebrities is being exposed. They coming down left and right. So there's gonna be more of that, and it's gonna be more, hearing about football players now, what I'm saying, attacking their women, and and really all of this the shit they've been doing in the dark, knowing that a lot of these athletes are, you know what I'm saying, they are, you know, they are gay. As simple as that, you know. And like I said, I'm gonna sugarcoat anything. Sugarcoat anything. If you don't, you know, if you don't like it, I told you to leave out this live. So, but we spoke about. I spoke about yesterday too about the predictions that the Earth changes, the frequency. The frequency is rising. That's why you're seeing people, you know what I'm saying, going against their government because the frequency is rising. They realizing that the government never had their back. So they trying to do everything in their power just to, you know what I'm saying, throw distractions. Keep throwing distractions and keeping your frequency low. And they ain't gonna be able to keep doing that because eventually, because we told you we were saying it from the get go that they can't stop what's coming, and they can't. They ain't no way. So we seeing all these known creatures coming out the hollow earth. You know, they spoke about mermaids and sirens and stuff. Is really popping up on beaches and shit more. You know, other creatures they haven't seen before. They don't even got names for. So, like I said, be prepared to hit. You know what I'm saying? See all this stuff coming out at once. So, and oh damn, I don't know what's this platform doing? But I'm gonna have to come back. This platform is still messing up on me. But I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Give me about another hour or two, and I'm gonna be right back. You know what I'm saying? Finishing because I got a whole list of shit that I really wanted to get out. But this platform is really messing up on me. So go on and share this video, and I'm gonna be right back. You know what I'm saying? About another hour, and I'm gonna post it up so people can get the notification. So I love y'all, and I'm out.